It's Bridget with Life on Spectrum, and today I'm talking to you about flapping. Now, some of your students may not be flapping as much, or you may have different other ways that they actually deal with their sensory issues. I've seen grinding of the teeth, I've seen clenching of the fists, I've seen rocking movements, but mostly what I do see is some form of flapping. Now with my son, I still don't know how he does it, and he laughs at me every time I try to do it. But he basically takes his thumb and his middle finger, and he flaps it so hard he almost makes a sound to it. And it's really like I don't know how else to explain it, except like two pieces of skin flapping together. That's kind of more like the sound. Anyway, he does it so hard, and basically what he tells me is it actually relieves the stress and anxiety. It doesn't mean it's always necessarily a bad thing. It could be a good stress or a good anxiety. If he's happy or excited, he still sometimes does it. He also does it though if he is actually upset or something happens. For instance, he is now 22, and about a year ago when he first started the job that he has now, he was helping a customer. And this customer became very agitated with him because he wasn't going fast enough. And so he did a really good job of holding it in until the customer was satisfied and his car was packed up. But at that time, he actually had to go back into the place that he works at and actually relieve some stress. And we had a plan of action. And that's really important for some of you, is as they get older, you should have a plan of action because they don't want to look different. Well, my son's plan of action was to go into the bathroom and actually go into a stall and flap. Just be careful though, because some people don't realize what you're doing in there. And with that sound came some problems. It made it sound like he was actually doing something else in the bathroom. We actually had to have a conversation with his boss. They now actually let him to go back to the back storeroom, and that's where he actually flaps now. So just keep that in mind. It can happen at school too. You can have a plan of action if something really happens and they don't want to be noticeable. You can actually have a way for them to release it in other ways. And remember, there's other techniques. Remember about swinging or jumping or things like that. But when absolutely positive, whenever they have to do it, please try not to stop them, because they really do need to release that anxiety. Just bear with it. And I always say, if people stare at me, it's just because of my good looks, not because of what my son needs to do to relieve his anxiety. So keep that in mind. One last thing is with flapping, there's always the question of medication. I did not medicate my son until he actually decided that he was ready to be medicated. That is really up to the parents and your choice of what you want to do. But my son actually dealt with his sensory issues until about 6th, 7th grade. And when he got to that level, he actually wanted to try to reduce some of it. So that would be another topic, and maybe please look it up with Bridget on Life on Spectrum. Thanks for watching that episode, and make sure you come back and join us again for upcoming videos. They'll be uploaded almost on a daily basis. Also, if you really enjoyed us, like us below, or even leave a comment for us to respond back to. And if for all of you that are really involved in the Life on Spectrum, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We appreciate you. We hope that this is worthwhile for you, and we'll see you next time on Life on Spectrum.